Hi, everybody. This is Doug Sprague with the Dorn team and Remax Realty Brokers here today to continue our interview series of local businesses. We're calling this Shop Pittsburgh Local. And today, I really wish that Nancy was here today. She's out meeting with clients. And so I am the solo interviewer today, and we're really thrilled to have Samantha Post, AKA Hardware Sam, from T&M Hardware in Bellevue. And for you longtime Pittsburghers, it's what used to be called Bellevue Hardware Store. And in my quick chatting with Sam, a lot of people still call it Bellevue Hardware, and they just smile and shrug and keep on going. And so, Sam, it's great to have you with us today. Thanks for making the time.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and so I see you're in your car. What are you up to?
I am out shopping local businesses in East Palestine, Ohio. So we have a store out here. So I'm out supporting this economy because it gives me my day off. So I have an opportunity to go out into the other neighborhoods where we have stores.
Tell us a little bit more about that, because I was pretty surprised to hear that T&M Hardware in Bellevue was not a standalone store.
Yeah, so we are actually much bigger than we appear. So we have what looks like a tiny storefront on Lincoln Avenue in Bellevue, but that tiny storefront is actually 2 stories and it has a side, it looks deceivingly small from the outside. So we have a little side room too that is a new garden center that feeds out into a greenhouse. And behind us as a company, we are a family business, we are a small business, but we have 6 stores. So we've talked about the one in Bellevue, the one in East Palestine. We also have locations in Elwood City, Harmony, Newcastle, and down the street from the Bellevue store over in the Perrysville Westview border, the old Butters Hardware.
So are you guys kind of like a big box store then?
Well, I think it depends on who you ask. A lot of people who come into our Bellevue location call us a mini Home Depot, but we obviously are not as big. So there are a couple of differences between us and them. We carry similar products, but lately we've been hearing a lot more about how much more helpful our staff is and how much friendlier, and all of those personal things are becoming the differentiators a little bit more so than they have been in the past. Price was probably more important. Now it's service.
I have to absolutely confirm that, because back in the day, Bellevue Hardware Store was my store, and it was my first official hardware store as I began to learn about home maintenance and construction and things like that. And it's always been about the service there.
Yes, and that's one of the things that's very important that we maintain. We try to educate people whenever they come in. We don't try to belittle anybody or make them feel foolish for their questions. Just come as you are. Don't get dressed up for us. Bring whatever you need. Bring in pictures, and we'll do our best to walk you through it. And if we can't help you, we'll at least guide you in some other direction.
One of the things I always liked about Bellevue Hardware was I saw the same people all the time.
Yeah.
And if I go to a larger, to be unnamed hardware store, it's whoever the shift is that day, and sometimes you never see the same person twice.
Yeah. Well, we have an all local store, and I think that there is a difference when you get to interact with the owner of the company every day. I work the sales floor. I'm there 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week. So, when you walk in, I may not be physically at the register, but I'm always there, and my staff gets to interact with me every single day. They interact with the rest of my family that plays different roles on our operational team. So we cut out that middleman, and you can hear directly from us and speak to us. And at the end of the day, we are just one large family. And I think having that direct line allows ideas to be brought to light, because everything you see in that store is not all my ideas or all my creations. It's definitely a team effort. And I think that sense of purpose and empowerment is definitely helpful in terms of keeping, employee retention over time.
When we were talking before we started recording, we had a quick conversation about how hardware stores were deemed an essential business this past year with all the pandemic things that were going on. What if you had to look back, what's different about how you do business today as opposed to how you did business a year ago? What's overall the biggest changes?
Oh, that's a loaded question. There were so many changes. I actually read a report this week, and it said that the business world grew 10 years in 3 months. And that I feel that to be 100% true. The most notable thing coming out of last year was that it was business on steroids for us. So when other businesses and industries closed down, we were one of the only games in town. And that was a blessing for us. And we were blessed to be able to keep essential products in stock. And then we were also able to help people who took the opportunity to use that time to improve their homes, to make sure that they were safe spaces for them to be comfortable in for a little longer than anticipated. And it was cool. People took up new hobbies and things like that. And then we've been able to navigate most of the product shortages. Some of them are still around, others are resolving themselves, and some are still unknown for spring. But that was our biggest challenge. And then I think the cool thing, at least for me, that came out of that is I think that we have deeper relationships with our neighbors. We try not to
So,
refer to
how so?
well, we try not to refer to our customers as customers.
Okay.
Like at the end of the day, you're our neighbors and you're our friends. And when you and I were talking, you would tell me how you were on a first name basis with the former owner, Al. And that's exactly it. Like when you come in, especially if you're buying a new home or you're working on a project, like we see you all the time and you get to know us and we get to know you. And when the world went sideways last year, that relationship became very helpful. Like we knew who people were, and because we have a local staff, like we know where people physically live, where their houses are. And when people couldn't get through to our phone lines because they were ringing off the hook last year, especially during the height of everything, we had our friends and our neighbors just reaching out directly to each one of us. So there's 7 people on my team, and people would just send a text message or send a message via social media and say, do you have this? And our curbside pickup was different. We've always offered curbside pickup. It's shocking to me that became a thing during the pandemic because at any point in time you can call us and say, hey, I'm on my way up, can you grab that and put it at the front register?
That's very cool.
But
So what was different about last year? What changed? How did you modify that last year?
well, we knew that people didn't want to necessarily leave their homes, especially in late March, early April, when things were really, really unknown at that point. And so because we knew where people lived and they were truly our neighbors, we would just drop things off on the way home. So instead of
No
requiring
way. You
people,
just your staff would just drop things off on their way
yeah,
home?
yeah, they would call, do you have it? We would take their payment over the phone, and we're
No,
like,
that's so cool.
yeah, if you don't need to come out, don't come out. Let us do the running for you. Like we're out, we're already putting ourselves at risk coming to work. So we'll just drop it off to you. We'll do it in a socially distant manner and stay home. If you like, there were people who really did not want to leave their homes. So that was the least that we could do to help them feel comfortable through that situation.
Let me combine two questions into one here.
Yeah.
What do you think it's important that people know uh, about working with small businesses right now in general, and how can our listening audience how can we communicate and help raise awareness for you?
I think the biggest thing to know about small businesses is just what they have to offer. I think it's pretty cool. It seems like the pendulum is swinging from the big box and the Amazon and just that automated way of thinking. Just I need to go there, and there's really this pause now where people are thinking of shopping local more. And I think now is the right opportunity because a lot of us have the gift of time. We're not going to work and the kids aren't going to school, and we're possibly looking for more reasons to get out of the house. And most retailers are doing what they need to do to be keeping everybody safe and feel comfortable to come in. So the best thing that you can do for small businesses is to just go into a store. Like make it a goal to go into a new business that you've never been into or don't know much about, and go see what they have. Because the biggest response that that we get, whether it's our business or people are in our stores talking about other businesses on Lincoln Avenue, is just, I didn't know you did this, or I didn't know you had this. And there's so much that people don't know about the storefronts and the businesses that are in their own communities. And if you just go in, and you can walk right in and you can talk to a hardware store, Sam, or you can talk to the owner of the restaurant, or you can talk to the owner of the boutique and get to know them. And they'll give you the lay of the land. They can pull product for you. They'll tell you what's coming in. Like, when you get to know us, not only our products, but us as people, like, we get to know you too. Like, we know what you're looking for. If we know you're an avid gardener, we'll be like, hey, guess what? Garden seeds are going to be on sale soon. Come back next week. Or if you're a bird seed person, hey, bird seed's going on sale. Like, we try to help you out. And I think that's the biggest takeaway, is just like me today, I am going to explore East Palestine more. And it's like, I come here all the time, but I never have the opportunity to get out of the car. And there's so many cute shops out here. And I bought several things over here in my front seat where I've, picked up a few things along my travels. And then that word of mouth. The best thing you can do for my company, or for any company right now, word of mouth has always been the best form of marketing. And so when you find something, or you learn something new about a business in your community or in the neighboring community, just tell everyone you know. And please know that Facebook is, and other social media platforms, they're not the only ones that are guilty of that, but they're businesses. So their goal is for businesses like mine to spend advertising dollars. And some businesses, especially right now, don't have a lot of advertising dollars. When you're asked to close for months at a time, that's lost revenue. And so the best thing that you can do is, Facebook is prioritizing your content, and you don't have to pay for it. So share, write reviews, get other people's names out, because I can tell you firsthand that I've had several new customers coming in who are actively looking to shop local, and they're like, your place is getting a lot of positive reviews. I had to come in and check it out for myself. And then it's our job to give the tour and show people around and show them what we're able to do. But it's folks like yourself and others in our communities that just take the time to come in and get to know the store and what we have, and who are sort of our megaphone and says, hey, you guys got to go check that place out. I didn't know they did this, and I didn't know they did that. And that's what's really going to help out right now.
Well, Sam, that's wonderful. And so you guys who are listening, share this video. We don't often ask people to share, but boy, you've just lit the fire. Share this, talk about it, and not just because we're doing it, but because you want to support T&M Hardware in Bellevue. Hardware, Sam, thanks so much for hanging out with me for a little while this afternoon.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
I wish we had time for a much longer conversation, and maybe we'll circle back around and dig into some of these things a little bit deeper. You've been really fascinating, and I really appreciate your time today.
My pleasure.
I'll be sure to come see you soon.
I hope so.
All right, Sam, have a great day. Folks, have a great day out there as well. This is Doug with the Dorn team and RE/MAX Realty Brokers, and we'll see you next time.